I'm Dr. Karen Becker, and I'm so excited that Susan has nominated Tamara Johnston for a Game Changer Award. And we have Tamara here with us this morning to tell us all about the incredible work she's doing. So, congratulations, Tamara, on your Game Changer nomination. And we're so excited to learn more about this incredible work. Thank you for joining us. So, Tamara, tell me a little bit about the work that you're doing and how you got started doing it.
Sure. So it started probably way back in 2002 when I first found my beautiful little puppy. She was just 1 month old outside a temple, and she would have been run over or poisoned or killed. And I took her in, and then basically that started my love of Thai dogs. And she was my first ever dog, actually. And we had family members that had dogs, but we never owned a dog. So from that, she became my life, of course. So we when she was 3 years old, we moved to Australia from Thailand, and then that was a long process. So we lived in Malaysia for 6 months, and then she had 1 month quarantine in Australia. And then once we went back to Australia, I went back teaching, but then I was backwards and forwards to Thailand because I just wanted to continue to help the dogs here. So I was every school holidays, or I would take long service leave, I'd come and help dogs, and my heart was drawing me back here. But taking a dog from Thailand to Australia and then back to Thailand again is not an easy decision. And in the end, I decided that I needed to come back. And that's when I came back and started Thai Street Paws Rescue, and all because of this one little puppy. And she's passed away now. She was 17. She passed away 2 years ago. And when she left me, I promised her I would continue doing this and continue helping the dogs here in Thailand, and in particular our town where I found her.
Gosh, what an incredible, it's an incredible story. And so I have so many questions, but when you came back, because I believe you went as a school teacher and then recognized the depth and the breadth of the dog, the homeless dog, the way that they were treated, and you basically you didn't know you were going to be switching professions, but you are you became a full-time. You moved back to become a full-time rescuer. The process of getting a rescue started from nothing had to have been slightly overwhelming.
It was very overwhelming, and it started just with a few dogs. Actually, I was feeding and sterilizing, vaccinating dogs, and then some dogs were poisoned along a road beside my home, and I decided, okay, the rest of the dogs can't stay there, so I admitted them to a vet clinic, and then we opened our foster home. And then it just, I was like, it's getting too big, and now it's bigger than ever. But I was still trying to juggle some part-time teaching, and I'd be having to cancel last minute because I'm at the vet with a sick dog. So I was like, okay, this is not going to work. I still do some, random days teaching at a university, but every day is dogs. So every day is waking up and, whether it's being at my sanctuary, going out to do spay and neuter, vaccinations. So my whole life revolves around the rescue now.
Gosh,
it's changed a lot.
So tell me a little bit about you're working amidst a culture that has a lot of homeless animals, starving animals, but also misunderstood. The dogs are very misunderstood. Are you seeing an evolution of cultural change where people are beginning to recognize the why of what you do? Or do you feel like, generally speaking, there's still a lot of harshness and misunderstanding pertaining to dogs where you're at?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, because where I am too is a high population of Muslim. And this becomes difficult because obviously they don't like dogs. Some of them do, but they don't want them in the area. And then, I understand that I I tried to get across to them, I'm trying to help you with spay and neuter and vaccinations. And they're like, just take the dog, take the dog. We don't want the dog. But they don't understand that I can't take every dog. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to educate and trying to provide what I can. And sometimes it feels like I'm banging my head against a brick wall and I go, when is this ever going to change? I don't think it's going to change. But I think I can see a slight change in things.
Mm-hmm.
And when people come to me and ask me, can you please take my dog to be spayed or neutered? And parvo and distemper are very big where we are. So, this is a kind of a thing that I'm not, vaccine over vaccinating, but it's essential here.
Of course,
And
of
so
course.
when they come to me and they ask me for help with skin problems or ticks or sterilization, vaccination, like for me, that's a win. And when they
Yeah.
want the dog back, that's a bigger win. So, I always say I'm more than happy to help you, but I can't take in.
Yeah.
I can't take your dog unless it's an extreme case. So I do feel like we are.
Do you so as you are helping people, educating people about how to care for dogs, how to prevent disease, how to prevent additional puppies from entering the world, are you when you have rescued these animals, then are they up for adoption? Are you trying to place
Yeah.
them? Are you trying to get them out of the country and into areas where there's a more warm and welcoming environment for these dogs? Or what's the process of then trying to rehome the dogs that
Yeah.
you've saved?
Yeah, and that we do. That is the end goal. And adopting locally is very, very rare. I
I'm
mean, if
sure.
I put a call out for fosters, like we had 4 abandoned orphaned puppies because the mum was killed.
Mm,
They were 2 days old, and trying to find a foster was almost impossible. So adoptions locally don't really happen. I have done a few adoptions locally, but most of ours are abroad. But of course, we were adopting to the US with partner rescues and Canada, but these rules are changing now. So, and Europe is still okay. We do the rabies titer and we can send them to Europe. The problem is that I guess during COVID, I became so busy with so many starving dogs on the street, and we took in a lot, and there just wasn't the food source for them. And now our sanctuary is overflowing. We're actually in the process of building a new place. We're meant to be in by the end of the month, but our funds are like pretty bad right now because we have I think we look after 250 dogs every day. Yeah.
do you have do you have volunteers? Are there some local volunteers that understand your heart, your mission, your goal?
Local, not so much. We have a small school community at the international school that have just said they would like to start to help out more and try to get their students to come in and help. But we relied previously 100% on volunteers, and then COVID hit and there's no volunteers, so I've had to employ local people. But that's also difficult because their mindset and my mindset about how animals, the basic needs are very different.
Right.
So
What would do the veterinarians in the area? Obviously, the local veterinarians love animals. Hopefully, that's why they became vets. Do they understand your mission and your goals? Do you have some camaraderie with the veterinarians you're working with, or do even the veterinarians think, my goodness, this woman's a little dog crazy?
I'm sure they all do, but I have one that I use for everything, and he's amazing, and he is very big into spay and neuter, and he is phenomenal in what he does, and he understands, and he has done some amazing surgeries. Like we have one dog, somebody cut off the nose with a machete, and he'd never seen a case like this, but he went home and he researched it, and he told me, I can do this surgery, and he did, and he did an amazing job. And I am very lucky to have such a talented vet, and he understands me when, I'll go in and I'm like, I want to get dogs today for spay and neuter. And then I'll come back and I'm like, I've got three, and he's like just as happy as I am. And they've taken me 3 hours to catch. So he really gets it. And I really appreciate that.
Gosh.
And it is difficult. I'm lucky that I do have a very good vet like that, because not everywhere in Thailand is like that.
Yes.
And, we are still at times, I need to go to Bangkok or somewhere else to get more advice. But I'm very lucky with the vet that I have.
Yeah, you are. That's a blessing that you have one
Absolutely.
comrade in the trenches that of medical mindset to be able to help you with those profound cases of disease and abuse and neglect.
Absolutely.
That this is a series of you're a resilient soul, my friend. You're a strong
Have
human.
to be.
Yeah, you do have to be. You have to be strong in lots of ways to do what you do, and what you are doing is amazing. When you get up in the morning, Tamara, the typical question I ask is, what do you love most about your job? And I know that you love what you're doing. You are living in a foreign country, working in very difficult circumstances. This is your heart and soul. That's very obvious.
Yeah.
But I think love maybe isn't the right term. What motivates you? What is the reason that you get up every morning and do what you do? What is your reason for this?
Yeah. I mean, obviously it comes back to my Bella, because she was the reason that I started this. And she's, when she's passing away in my arms, I promised her that I'm going to continue caring for your friends here, and I'm not going to give up. And there's so many times lately where I'm just like, I just want to go home. It's too hard. The cultural difference is too hard. People ripping me off, and I don't have enough money, and I'm tired, and I don't get a day off. And then I go and I feed my street dogs, and I'm like, what will they do if I'm not here?
Yeah.
Like, I come home to my dogs, and they drive me crazy sometimes. But walking away from that is not easy either. So I have to just find a way to keep going. I need to find a balance. There's someone now wanting to get in the room.
Tamara, how many in the place that you live and your dogs versus the dogs that you're feeding and caring for? How many dogs are in your space right now?
Okay, in my home there's 15 right now, and I told myself it wouldn't go over like 5, but here we are at 15. So
I understand. I totally understand. Tamara, if you could tell the world one thing, or if you would want the world to know one thing, what would it be?
I think I just want people to be more compassionate with living beings that have no choice. They don't want to be there. I mean, I look at these little puppies and I'm like, they didn't ask to be born.
Yeah.
And they didn't ask to be abused or poisoned. So I think sometimes we've lost touch with reality, and we're all living beings, and let's be nice to everything on the planet, and respect them and try to help where we can. And when I see people, with not a lot of money and they're really trying to help, like that makes me happy.
Yeah. Compassion is an important piece. It's the most important piece of us taking care of each other and taking care of the other inhabitants on the earth. You've moved to another country to care for animals there, and it's amazing. Tamara, if people wanted to support your work, to donate to your work, to learn more about what you're doing in your mission, where would they go to find that information?
Sure. We have a Facebook page, and it's called Thai Street Paws Rescue. And we also have Instagram, and I think it's the same name. I think it's Thai Street Paws. I think it's Thai Street Paws Dog Rescue on Instagram. Okay. And that's the best place to find us and reach out. And everything helps. Sharing helps. $1 helps. Everything, every bit helps to keep going.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah.
And the whole reason that the Game Changer series exists is to shed light and to bring light and awareness to this important work that all of these amazing game changers are doing around the world, you being one of them. And it's such an honor to be able to connect with you, to learn more about this critical work that you're doing. And my hope and prayer is that people see this, recognize the need, and then feel compassion, and in turn want to support you in the work that you're doing. So thank you for all that you're doing.
Thank you. I'm so honored because you're one of my heroes. So I'm so honored to actually meet you and to talk to you and for you to interview me. So you have no idea how much this means to me. And thank you so much.